Hello and welcome to Equivoto Reviews. Today let's have a look at something slightly different. Whenever you hear of the term Subaru, what comes to mind? I'm sure we will all agree that the first thing that comes to mind is Subaru's heritage that is characterized by fast turbocharged vehicles, frameless windows, their all-wheel drive performance, and their boxer engines. Unfortunately, Subaru deviated from their heritage, and some of the aspects that characterized and differentiated Subaru as a brand are no longer being offered on their modern vehicles. So today let's talk about the last generations of the Impreza, Legacy and Forester that had that Subaru DNA. Before we start, if you find this content helpful, then please consider subscribing to the channel for more informative content on cars. You can also support the channel in two ways, either by donating or purchasing some artworks that are available for sale at affordable prices. If interested, then reach me via WhatsApp. The details are in the description box. Your support will be much appreciated and will certainly go a long way in enabling the growth of the channel. So, which were the last generations of the Impreza, Legacy and Forester that had that typical Subaru DNA? Beginning with the Impreza nameplate, the second generation was the last to incorporate the Subaru DNA. This second generation was produced from 2000 to 2006. For the Legacy, on the other hand, it was the fourth generation that was in production from 2003 to 2009. And lastly, for the Forester, it was the second generation that was in production from the year 2002 till 2008. What was common in all these three Subaru cars was that they all had the frameless windows, they had proper automatic transmissions, their performance variants had hood scoops, and they were generally quite customizable. Even in terms of design, they were quite good. Look at something like the Subaru Forester. It was a crossover, but the design was somewhere in between a station wagon and an SUV. It wasn't as tall as its competitors such as the RAV4 and X-Trail of that time, and that was a good thing because its center of gravity was lower than other crossovers, and this enabled it to handle quite well and also have minimal body roll compared to other taller crossovers. After this generation, the design was completely changed, and the Forester now had a tall body just like the other crossovers. In fact, even if you want to customize these current generations of the Forester, it will be quite difficult because they are already tall. So even if you lower the car, it will still not be as low to the ground compared to the second generation that you could lower and make it look like a station wagon for better handling. The hood scoop on XT variants that made them look aggressive and sporty is gone, and in fact even the XT variant was also discontinued in 2019. So we see that Subaru decided to change their vehicles from being more sports and performance oriented to more family oriented, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. In my opinion, it would have been better if they would have retained some aspects such as the frameless windows, which looked quite cool. They would have also retained the hood scoop and their automatic transmissions. Now almost all their vehicles have CVTs to aid in good fuel consumption, but Mazda on the other hand have proved that you can still have a proper automatic transmission and still have good fuel consumption. Look at the Legacy on the other hand. That fourth generation looked quite sporty. It was very streamlined and aerodynamic, but the fifth generation that replaced it was now much bigger, less sporty and less streamlined. It also lost out on the frameless windows. It came with an electronic parking brake, and now they even have CVT transmissions. Even the Subaru Levogue that has replaced the legacy wagon has a CVT transmission, yet it looks quite aggressive and sporty. So it's almost like the company just decided to diverge from what they were known for. They now aim for the masses who prefer quiet, safe and fuel-efficient vehicles. The only aspects that they have still maintained in their modern cars is all-wheel drive and their boxer engines. Now, for those who still prefer Subarus that had that Subaru DNA, they have the option of the generations I mentioned earlier. You can still find a 2007 or 2008 Legacy or Forester that is still in very good condition. They are very customizable, they drive well and are engaging. They have that rich Subaru character and heritage. That said, the modern Subarus are not bad at all. We have to move with time, so we just have to accept that CVT transmissions are here to stay, and electronic parking brakes are also becoming the new norm. Let me know whether you agree with me that these generations of Subarus were the last ones to have that Subaru DNA, or do you think that the modern Subarus still have that heritage? Thank you for watching. That's it for this episode. If you have any enquiries, feel free to reach me via WhatsApp or email. Stay safe. See you in the next video.